Auto Broker, and today we're going to talk about the great auto crash of 2024. I did some research on recalls. There were millions and millions of recalls done in the year of 2023, and I'm going to dive into that right now. So there's been millions and millions of recalls in 2024. However, we're just past the first quarter, so my focus today is going to be the recalls of 2023. Now, 2023 was a very interesting year in the car business. You know, you had car prices were incredibly high, interest rates started rising, and they made too many cars. They had too many manufacturer defects, and I'm going to go over the 10 biggest manufacturers that had recalls. So let's get started. Okay, so here are the 10 manufacturers with the largest amount of recalls. I made this list up, and here goes. Number 10 is Tesla. They had 13 different recalls. The recalls were on 2.4 million cars. That's 5% of the total that were on the road. Now, the Model S and X were recalled the most. They recalled about 120,000 of them, and the cabin doors would open or become unlocked when an accident happened. So, you know, not bad, because Tesla's one of the largest manufacturers here in the U.S. Pretty good overall, I mean, considering how large of a manufacturer they are. Hyundai came in at number 9, and they had 17 different recalls. They did the recalls on 2.6 million cars. That's 6% of the total amount of cars that they have manufactured. 1.6 million of the recalls were for ABS. That stands for anti-lock brake system. It spilled brake fluid internally, and it caused an electrical short, which electrical problems can be big trouble in vehicles. Now, coming in at number 8 was Volkswagen. They had 18 total recalls on 330,000 cars. That's 7% of the total made, and 24,000 of them were for the sunshade glass on it. Okay, at number 7 was Honda. They had 18 different recalls. They had 3.8 million vehicles, which was 7% of their total. 2.5 million of them were on a faulty fuel pump, which caused the engines to either stall or not start. So we go to number 6, Jaguar and Range Rover. Now, they're not British owned anymore. Jaguar was sold to Ford, and then Ford sold it to an Indian owned company called Tata Motors. Your Range Rover / Land Rover was also sold to Tata Motors. So they had a total of 6 recalls, and Jaguar did, and then Range Rover had 19 recalls. So they had a total of 80,000 recalls, which is 8% of the total amount of those vehicles that were on the road. Now, coming in at number 5 was General Motors. They had a total of 22 recalls. Keep in mind, they're one of the largest manufacturers in the United States. They make Chevy, they make a few different products. They had 2 million, which is 10% of the total amount of GMs on the road. And they had their biggest recall was for an airbag defect. Now, Mercedes-Benz came in at number 4. They had 27 recalls. 400,000 total Mercedes-Benz were recalled. That's 10% of all the Mercedes-Benz that were on the road. And the biggest recall was a faulty electrical system. It was the wiring and the fuel pump. So that sounds pretty serious. Number 3 came in, that was BMW. And in the car business, we like to say BMW stands for Bring My Wallet. They had 29 recalls, 332,000 cars. That's 11% of all the BMWs that are on the road. They had engine issues, which is, that's expensive. And it could stay at the dealership for a long time to fix an engine issue. They did 155,000 vehicles for engine problems. That's a lot. Number 2 came in at Chrysler. Chrysler is now owned by a European company in the Netherlands, and they're having a lot of problems. Stellantis. They had a total of 45 recalls. 2.7 million total recalls in 2023. That's 17% of all of the Chryslers that are on the road. Ram truck had the most amount of defects. They had a steering column control module issue, and they had 142,000 Ram trucks that had that problem. And your grand prize winner, coming in at number 1 for the 3rd year in a row, is Ford, which now stands for First on Recall Division. It's a joke. They had 54 different recalls. 5.7 million vehicles were recalled in 2023. And at the top of that list was the Ford F-150. They had a parking light problem. So there you have it with the vehicles. There's millions and millions of vehicles that have been recalled. It's the prices are expensive on cars, and so in closing, what I'd like to do is, if it's free to check to see if your vehicle has a recall on it. There's 2 ways that you can handle it. The first thing you can do is you can call the dealership, say, yeah, I have a such and such Ford, the VIN number is blah blah blah. Do I have any recalls? And they'll tell you over the phone. Now, if the vehicle is still under the manufacturer's warranty, they usually give you a loaner car. If it's not under the manufacturer warranty, you have to drop it off and then pick it back up. That's usually how it works. So the second way that you can check to see if you have a recall is you can Google, like if you have a Ford F-150, you can put Ford recalls into Google and then click on that, and then when you click on the Ford recall link, you'll put your 17 number VIN number in there, and then you'll hit the go button, and it'll tell you if there is a recall on your vehicle or not. There's also something else I'd like to add. If they're not able to fix your vehicle, it can go under what's called a lemon law, which people love to talk about when they buy used cars. It's a lemon, and which a lot of them are. But the lemon law applies to new vehicles when the dealership cannot repair the defect on the vehicle. Then it can fall under the lemon law, but you need to check. That may vary from state to state, and it's definitely something you want to look into. But you definitely want to check and see if your car needs a recall. It doesn't cost any money to do that. And this is Little Joker, Auto Broker. Love making these videos. Please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.